Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Valley Living, and we're just going to kind of show you all some progress in the backyard that we've been making over the past few weeks, because we're starting to ramp up all of the cleanup and gardening and just getting ready to enjoy the yard for the summer. It's a hot mess, but everything just comes together very quickly in the next month. It happens every year like this. But we wanted to show you how things are looking just based on the time we have been putting into it in the afternoons and weekends. We've had these roses for going on about probably 12 to 15 years, and they've moved a couple of times from different places, but once we put them here against this fence, it's west facing over there and east over here, seems to be the perfect light for them, and they love it. So lately, in the past year, JJ put some landscaping definition around it, and over the next week we're actually going to finish pulling these weeds out, and we're going to be laying down plain cardboard boxes that have been stripped of all their tape. Here's part of the ugly thing that we have to deal with. These are just all the different amendments and soils, peat moss and some potting soil and some fir mulch, which we swear by, and a little bit of worm castings there. Those are our three main things that we like to use in our garden area.
And as if there wasn't enough, there's still more.
Okay, that's
another scary part.
Bad and ugly right there. Okay, so about a month and a half ago, inside, we decided this year to start all of our heirloom seeds on our own instead of buying them for $2.50 to $5 a piece at the local nurseries and the big box stores. So all of these are tomatoes. There's a fair amount, I'm not going to go through every single one, a fair amount of them are like Romas. We have large regular slicer tomatoes that we like to eat all summer long, and then we have the paste tomatoes, which are excellent for canning. And I have a personal goal this year of canning a minimum of 100 quarts of tomato sauce that we grow the tomatoes on our own. So that's a pretty lofty goal, so it's going to take a lot of tomatoes. In February, we came out here and we planted the bottoms of some green onions that we had used up, that we had purchased at the grocery store. And these Swiss chard were so tiny back then that you barely even noticed them. Well, these are the green onion tops, and they are looking really healthy and good. We're just going to start snipping them and using them as chives and salads and everything. And it is definitely time for us to start pulling these chards. So that's why we're doing this video today, because there's a lot that's going to come off and change in the next few days. And so it was worth showing how big everything is and how lush everything is right now. And then these are just various plants that we got from a friend. And one of the things that happened is when we had that hailstorm well, it's been a couple months, there's a lot of damage. This is a jade plant. I'm sure that it's going to go ahead and be okay, and I might pick some of the more, bad damaged leaves off here pretty soon, but for right now I don't want to give them any more shock, so we're just leaving them as is. You can see right here that these succulents have already started to recover. This is all, post hail storm, so once these are a little stronger, I'm just going to pull these off so the plant doesn't waste all of its energy trying to repair all of that. These all fared well, so I'm not worried about it. And that aloe right there clearly needs to be repotted so that we can enjoy its benefits. This is kale right here. This is lacinato kale, and we love this. You can see a lot of nice new growth in here. And you can also see right here where this is about all we had when we had the hailstorm. So it's really come back nicely. It's very firm, and this feels better than what you get in the store. And then this is red Russian kale. It's really hardy for winter, so we're going to have to pull this up and use it in some smoothies or salads here. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull it out pretty soon and put some nasturtium in here instead.
Yeah,
because
we started some nasturtium too when we did all the...
we're going to go look at the next seedlings now. Okay, so over here we have more seedlings. We have nasturtium. We have zinnias, because this year we're not big flower people as much as we like flowers. We've never been really dedicated to putting a lot of flowers out to bring beneficial insects. But this year we've committed ourselves to do that, and it's time to do it. So we have some California golden poppies, nasturtium. These are both zinnias on both sides of that, and then these are various sunflowers. I'm kind of planting these in honor of my Aunt Rose in Kansas, because she loves the sunflowers. These are pole beans, Kentucky Wonders, pretty standard, and it's taken me a little while to decide where I want to put them, and we'll be out there in a minute and I can show you. And then all of these are various cucumbers, because who doesn't like a good cucumber, right? We use the straight 8s for dipping and using, like, instead of a cracker. We've got lemon cucumbers in here. We've got pickling cucumbers, types that we've never seen or grown. We spent a fair amount of time last year actually getting a lot of seeds from various catalogs like Baker Creek Seeds and a local company called Peaceful Valley that's out of Grass Valley, I think, is it, JJ?
Yes, I think so.
Grass Valley or Nevada City, California. But I mean, it is like seriously 20 miles outside of where we live. So that's about as local as it gets right there. These are the potatoes that we just did part 2 video on about a week ago. So you can go back and look at that. They're doing really well. That's all I can really say about that. We do keep them raised up so that it makes it a little bit easier for the water to drain, and we don't have weeds coming up through the buckets, because all of these buckets have holes in them to allow proper drainage. These are the roses that we did a pruning video on. Was that about 6 weeks ago, I think? And if you look at these roses, these are spectacular. Look at that. And it actually smells even better than it looks. And if you can pan out, I mean, this is just loaded with buds. So I will be cutting these buds and taking them in the house to enjoy, because it doesn't get any better than that, I'll tell you. And we can look out from our home offices and the chairs and everything when we're sitting outside to eat or have coffee. This rose area is just gorgeous. These are the peas that we transplanted back in January. They've got a lot of growth. We've had 3 really good harvests from them so far, but this is actually where I'm going to be putting my cucumbers. So I'm going to harvest what's on here today, this evening, and then we will turn around and get whatever else is viable at the end of this week, and then next Saturday, more than likely, we will pull these out and transplant all of the cucumbers, and maybe even a few more. I'm just going to show you. I just picked this. Isn't that like the coolest thing? They are so gorgeous right there. So it's great snack time. So I'm going to throw those down there because I've got all kinds of weeding to do. And then in front of that is some red cabbage. They really didn't do anything, and now that it's hot, I'm expecting them to bolt. We gave them a good shot, but I don't think they're going to make it. So this is all going to make way for new stuff here in the next week. And then you see weeds out in the back. I've been weeding here and there after work and stuff. And you know what? This is part of the ugliness of gardening. Okay, this is our pomegranate. It's a wonderful, so it's like the big red jewel ones that you see at the store, and it's the same kind that you get the juice from when you go to Costco or the grocery store. This is our first bud this year. I was going to cut off all of the soft wood and propagate it this year, but I did that last year. And if we propagate after the buds start, we notice that we have very poor results in fruit. We don't get a lot. So at this point, we are going to let this baby go.
Lord help us.
It is worth noting that we got this plant as a start from about a 6-inch cutting about 18 years ago from my mom's neighbor. He put it in rooting compound, stuck it in a bucket, And we had it in the bucket for about 2 or 3 years until we decided, we fenced in this back area because it was all open to the street and everything. And once we created this little area, we thought, well, that'd be perfect for the pomegranates. And it has indeed been a wonderful place for the pomegranates. I'm still eating these peas. So, you know, we keep it cut back, and every now and again we go to town on it. But this year, we're just going to let her grow and give us as much fruit as we can so that we can make lots and lots of pomegranate jelly in the fall. Okay, so you see an empty trellis there right in front of that pomegranate tree, and that had watermelon and cantaloupe on it last year, and I tried to put some vining plant on it this year. Delicata squash, thank you, that is exactly what it was. And then we said, well, they're not thriving and we can get them at Trader Joe's for 98 cents a piece, so that's what we've been doing. We've just been buying it at Trader Joe's, but that's where the beans are right now slated to go, is in that whole cattle panel area right there. And then this area, this is Tomato Central. We've decided, because we have so many tomatoes this year, that we are going to just keep the paste tomatoes here. Those will be the main canning tomatoes for sauce, and some salsa, because they don't have a lot of seeds in them, so they just really hold up well when you turn them into various sauces and everything. So I don't know how many are going to go in here, but we're going to jam it full. I want you to show them these beautiful oregano plants. We did some companion planting last year just to keep bugs away. We always put marigolds around the edges, but these actually wintered through. We didn't do anything, and these started out as really tiny little plants. And then I see right here it's spreading out a little bit, so we'll probably pull this off and put it somewhere else. And oh my god, it smells so good. So you see all these weeds are all going to come out, and these are the radishes and the beets that we planted in early February. And I don't know if I just picked some yesterday and posted them on our Facebook page, but oh my gosh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And we're going to use the greens too. If they're getting woody, you can cook them down like spinach with maybe a little butter and garlic, and I think I'm going to try that. These are the beets, and you have to be patient with beets because they take a few months. Now, between the house and these beds, we are going to take this cardboard here, like we did out by the gardenias, and I'm going to get the deeper weeds out just to make my own brain feel better about it. And then we're going to strip all of the tape off these boxes, lay them down, and then we're going to put mulch over them. My brother and his wife have some leftover mulch that we're going to use. And that will actually fortify the soil for worms and other beneficial bugs underground. It's also going to make it look a lot nicer and neater. And then when we go and pressure wash the house and repaint, it's going to make life a whole lot easier. But that's what all these boxes are for. We've been saving boxes, and family members have been saving boxes as well. I just had to share this. This is one of the best parts of gardening to me. This is one of the new ladybugs that have emerged, and she's probably getting some tiny bugs that we can't even see right now, but that is one of the joys. I can hear the birds singing, and it's just really peaceful in the afternoon with the shade. But loving those ladybugs, loving them, loving them.
So I planted these onions, I don't know, a couple of months ago. I obviously need to get out here and weed, but these are all white and yellow onions here to this post, to that post there, and then those are purple or red, whatever. And then till this post, and then shallots. These are shallots. And then up until this here, and then this is all garlic, which I need to get out here and cut all of this stuff in so they can all get bigger. And it's all a time thing. And then the asparagus are conundrum of the year, which I still haven't figured this out. So let me come over here and I'll show you. So on this left side over here, these are the Jubilee Supreme, and on the right side over here, these are the Mary Washington asparagus. Notice how half of the bed didn't really grow, or hasn't really grown until these came out here just in the last week. These guys here, it didn't really grow back, but they're two different varieties. So, hey, if you have suggestion, I look forward to that in the comments.
But we're being patient with these because they say it can take 2 years before you get a good harvest. But then afterwards, you can harvest several times a year for up to 20 to 24 years, depending on how well they do. So we're excited about that. And each crown can get up to 6 or 7 stalks, which is a very healthy half or more of the bundles that you would get at the grocery store. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
So I put these in at the beginning of last year. I think it was around April of last year. So these have been in the ground for one season. This will be their second season in the ground. So I'm just going to let them go again.
And letting them go means that they get grassy like that. They get like ferns. And then you just let that go. You keep them watered and everything else, right? And then you just let it do that until winter, and then you cut them back. One thing we may do this year is cut them back sooner than we did last year and see if that makes a difference, because we let them go a long time last year thinking we were doing the right thing, but now we're wondering if that's right. Fun part about gardening, you're always learning a new technique or a new way to do something.
So this is our area now. You can see over there, that's a little work that needs to go on, that will be going on.
And there's a black tumbler that you see in the back corner. That's called an urban composter, and we got that years and years ago. And we haven't really been, as you can see, it's all backed up in the corner there. We haven't been really good about using it. And one of our subscribers, Gretchen, asked several weeks ago if we were considering putting in compost bins. And we live on a lot that doesn't really have like a big back area that's far enough away from our house where we really feel like it would be a good thing to have big open bins. So we're going to revive the urban composter, and that's what we're going to use this year. Luckily, my brother doesn't live far away, so we can take leftover greens or anything that we also have over to his house and add to his compost pile. And we might go out and film that every now and again so you can see it. I'll have to talk to him about whether or not he wants that to happen. The house was built in 1956. So it's ready for cleanup this year. We've planted a lot of lavender. Not my favorite plant because it's so strong.
But it helps the bees.
Yeah, bees are just going nuts. We planted one in January, and the bees just can't leave it alone. So we'll deal with that scent so that we can have more bees around here.
And this is the blackberries, obviously. I need to get out here just like anything. And you can see that they're starting to try to make...
Right here. It's kind of like a strawberry where it throws out runners.
Try to make their own place, but...
So we need to trim it back, and then we're going to take some of the runners and put those in as well. And these, those are Calla Lilies over there that don't have flowers on them yet. And the funny thing is that there was one little clump when we moved in this house in like 2003, and it was in the backyard in the shade. And now we have tons of them, and we just kind of move them and pepper them around. And then we've got some freesia and some African daisies, and these are starting to wane. Those are some bearded iris. Again, we brought one with us when we moved here, and it just continues to thrive. And so we give these are artichoke plants that we planted last year, and 2 plants have turned into about 6. So we've got aphids here, and that's actually going to get sprayed today. But I wanted to show you what a lovely aphid colony can look like. And I will seriously be going crazy on those guys because they're starting to tuck in everywhere. And we just tried a really neat recipe with baby artichokes. And I want to enjoy those baby artichokes again, because then we just get that many more after we, just like any flower, because that's what an artichoke is a flower. And then this plant has 2 right now. And it's probably got a couple, yeah. They're just tucked into all the tiny new growth. And so we're really pleased with it. This is like a microclimate that gets morning sun. It gets really, really hot in the valley. So we have to keep artichokes where they're going to stay as cool as possible in the heat of the summer. So this did really well last year. In fact, they didn't even die all the way back because we had a mild winter. So this is probably going to be the magic artichoke spot. And then apple tree.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a way, watch. Anyway, at any given point, oh, there we go. In the morning, we just have so many bees on this plant. So that's why we planted more around here, just to keep them in and around our garden so that they'll do work for us and we'll provide food for them. And then this is a Lantana, which I've never grown on our property before. It has multicolored pink, green, and yellow flowers. And I was actually afraid about a week ago that it was completely dead, and now there's all this new growth. So it's going to look really good. And these, we let the artichokes go to seed last year. These are new artichoke plants. So I'm going to keep those alive. You can see they're everywhere. They spread their seeds. So we're going to go ahead and just let these go, and then we'll split them up next year. But that's pretty darn cool right there. We're hoping to get some flowers from it. And this is Karen.
This is our new addition.
This is what, JJ?
This is an Amari Satsuma Mandarin.
And this is the pink lady apple tree. So this tree is also a bee magnet right now because it's budding out. And we pruned it back pretty heavily last year. And this year it held on to its leaves a lot. So we went ahead and made the decision to let it go for the year. There's plenty of air that can move around on the inside of the tree, which would probably be...
So our one last bearded iris right here. We have mint in here. And luckily so far, this has been in here for probably 15 years.
Yep.
But we've kept it at bay, and it is really only pretty much in this bed right here.
And we'll
I can't believe it.
One of the most important things that we almost forgot is our little row of citrus here that we have in the backyard. So this is a bear's lime, which is your standard lime that you might use in a margarita.
Or that you just get at the store.
Or that you just buy at the store. But it's really nice to come out in the fall and winter and pick them fresh. This is...
Again, more work.
This is a Eureka Lemon that we put in last year. I'm going to take that leaf off. And it's got a lot of new, really good growth on it. We had a mild winter. I think I only had to cover it 2 times for a night at each time when it got down to like 28 degrees for more than 6 hours. And oh man, I wish you guys could smell this. It is glorious. But we'll probably end up with a couple dozen lemons off of this. And these are the kind of lemons, again, that you buy at the store, the thick-skinned, sun-kissed lemons that you would normally buy. And I'll tell you what, after having a lemon tree, it kills me to pay $1 for a tiny lemon. And then about 2 weeks ago,
again, more work.
We planted this Eureka Lemon because we had planted 2 initially, and the one had a disease in it and it never, ever thrived. So we pulled it out last year and then replaced it because our whole idea is that we're going to have growth up and over the fence that we can enjoy and our neighbors can enjoy. And once again, that the bees can have plenty of food in the spring and summer when we're getting ready to plant our other plants. See, Leo likes to do his own fertilization.
And on this guy, we're a little bit high. I'm sure somebody noticed.
But we're getting ready to put a ring around
those rings, and we're going to raise that up
with
a little
some soil.
So that, you know.
Over here, we bought this tree. We actually spent more money than we normally do on a tree on this one. And we got this at Costco about 12 years ago.
This is a Meyer Lemon.
This is a Meyer Lemon. So this is that more thin-skinned, almost orange-looking lemon that you would use as a dessert lemon for lemon bars, lemon meringue pie, that type of thing. I'm going to take the camera from JJ and see if I can get a picture of this bee that is just loving that bud. So, again, you know, the bees aren't going to bother you if they have plenty of food like this. So don't worry about it. Plant those plants that are going to attract them, because they're going to fertilize your other plants. And without them, honestly, guys, we wouldn't eat. So be careful what you put on your plants when you're trying to kill one type of bug. Maybe try and go the natural route first. And don't use nicotine type products and teas and things that just kill every bug. Even those systemics that you can put on in the ground for your roses will come up, and that can actually kill the bees or hurt their immune systems and their nervous systems. There's lots of stuff on YouTube now. There's all kinds of shows on TV. Educate yourself, and please, 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 let's be friends to the bees. Well, we'd like to thank you for coming along on our garden update. You know, it was really hard to actually do this video because everything is such a mess. You're a goober. And, but you know, we're sitting here making this little to-do list and we're like, we're never going to get through it. So there's never a perfect time in your garden. It's always going to have pretty parts and bad parts, but we wanted you to see this so that in a month, when you come back, you're going to, you know, start seeing buds on the tomatoes, and you will have something to reference, you know, about when they were really tiny and you saw that. So, got anything else?
Yeah, quit hitting the table.
Oh, okay. No more cutting.
I'm just kidding.
The table. So we would like to thank you very much for visiting us at Big Valley Living, and for you to continue supporting us. Those of you hanging in as we just start this channel out, you have no idea how much we appreciate your support. Please like this video, share this video with folks that you know. It doesn't matter that we're in the Big Valley in Sacramento, California. Everybody does gardening in different places in the U.S. and everybody has their own little climate. But the overall premise of gardening is the same everywhere. We just have different seasons and different little things that we have to work with.
And everybody has issues they have to deal with. It. For us, it's the blazing hot sun, and from June to September. That's
June. It's like 85 here right now.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
already
beautiful.
thinking that's
it's
too
absolutely
hot.
Beautiful. But
that's what the pool's for.
Everybody has issues that you have to deal with, and hopefully you can get some from our videos that help you. You know, and I'm from the Northwest, so we wouldn't necessarily have to deal with shade cloth, but you'll see in upcoming videos that there will definitely be shade cloth, or you know, we'll lose all these tomatoes, or we won't get any from it, but the plants will love it. So it, you know, everybody has different things they have to deal with. So hopefully you pick up something here that you can use where you are.
Thanks a lot again for joining us at Big Valley Living. We hope that you have a fabulous week, and happy gardening, happy cooking, and be kind to one another.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.